everyone's looking for the young guy. They're looking for McVay. I think take a shot out Todd Bowles, get him a second shot at head coach, and see if he can do it.
I don't think they will. If they don't have Anthony Davis, I'm saying it right now. If Anthony Davis is out for the playoffs, they don't make it out of the first round.
It's crazy. And our kids will know how great Tom Brady is because he's going to be playing.
Yes, it is 15.0%.
That's what the Yankees brought Garrett Cole to do.
He was a 6th-round pick. This is a fairy tale story that's being written in front of our eyes.
People like to call them their JV team, and they just stole one of their better players.
They didn't struggle against the Padres. The Padres didn't really put up a fight in most of the games.
Jerry Jones, hope you're listening.
Hi, I'm Landon Bowe, and you're listening to Outsiders Opinions with Kevin and Austin.
What's up, y'all? Welcome to our NBA Opinions of the Week. And today we are getting close to finishing. Well, this is the final set of our top 10 starting positions. We will have a bench players coming out in a few days. So, Austin, now we have the top 10 center list. And this one, there is kind of resurgence of centers currently in the NBA.
I think it's the best position in the sport right now. I really think you could make that argument.
You really could. And yeah, it's kind of been a shift in it. And you see a lot of teams getting bigger, which is kind of where you see centers getting a lot of love. Do you have any honorable mentions?
Honorable mention to Rudy Gobert. Honorable mention to Nikola Vucevic. Honorable mention to Isaiah Hartenstein.
Wow. I have Rudy Gobert high in the top 10.
Okay. I obviously don't have him in my top 10. Do you have any honorable mentions?
I have Derek Lively. I think he's someone with a lot of growth, but the problem is injuries.
Okay. Who is your 10?
My 10 is Miles Turner, who's now with the Milwaukee Bucks.
Okay.
I think he provides an offensive threat at the center position and defensively as well. But I think there are some questions with how he plays with Giannis and how he will perform, but I do think he is a top 10 center.
Okay. I do not have him in my top 10, so we're starting off this list hot. My number 10 is Jared Allen for the Cleveland Cavs. He is an amazing defensive player. He's a 7'6" wingspan, which is pretty impressive. Great rebounder, solid scorer around the paint. And for a player that doesn't have a lot of range on offense, he at least shoots the free throw at a decent clip. 73%. First career, it's 71%. But I feel like a lot of centers that aren't the best when it comes to scoring outside the paint do really struggle at the free throw line. He's not someone that struggles. 72%, 71%. As long as he's shooting 70, I think you can get away with not being the best scorer outside of the paint. But last year, he led the league in effective field goal percentage, 2-point percentage, and field goal percentage, shooting about 71% from the field.
Wow. Yeah, he's a guy I've in my top 10, but a little bit higher. My 9 is Zubac with the loss. Yeah, he's still with the Clippers, right?
Clippers, yeah.
Yeah.
Clippers.
I know they added Brook Lopez, but Zubac to me is someone that is just a really solid center and provides a great option just as a defender and a rebounder. Defender, he can get a little tricky if he's guarding one-on-one, they bring him out, but he's a great rebounder and provides a solid presence down low for the Clippers.
Yeah, he's my number 9 as well. So
Ooh.
I agree with him being there, and I think that he deserves a lot of praise for what he can do. I'll go to my number 8, Joel Embiid. At his peak, he can be argued for the best player in the league. But I'm worried about injuries. I have a lot of injury concerns. He's yet to play above 23 minutes of the game this season as we're doing it. But last year, even if we ignore this season, he only played 19 games. The year before that, he played 39 games. And last year, in his 19 games, he only averaged 23.8% or 23.8 points while shooting 44% from the field and 29.9% from the line. No, not from the line, from three. My bad. I have a lot of concerns regarding his ability not just to stay on the floor, but also he looks extremely slow playing now. And the best thing you can be is available for your team. So, who's your 8?
Yeah, Embiid is someone I have high because I do believe when healthy, I do think he could get better, but I understand having him at 8. My 8 is Bam Adebayo with the Miami Heat. He's a fantastic center. He's a little, he's a little bit thin, he's athletic. He's not as big as some of the other centers, but to me, he's a great defensive player and is starting to get better offensively, and we saw that a few years ago. But to me, his defense just puts him on this top 10 list.
Yeah, I have him pretty higher than that.
Okay.
Who's your 7?
My 7 is Jared Allen for the reasons you said. He is very tall, and him and Mobley really put together started that movement of bigger power forward and center. And Allen to me is what makes it along with Mobley being able to shoot threes. Allen can really get rebounds and provide a defensive presence near the basket.
Okay. My number 7 is Chet Holmgren. I know you had him in power forwards, but last year he played 65% of his time at center. And even in the playoffs, I think he played around 65, 68% of his time at center. So I have him as center. Whether or not he'll play more center this year, we'll wait and see. But yeah, Holmgren is growing a lot as a player. He still has some holes in his game and still some concerns regarding how many games he can play in a season. Because last year, I believe he played, he played 32 games last year, right? He obviously hurt his foot his first year, played 82 games. His second year last year only played 32. And he's played all the games this year, but I still have concerns regarding him staying on the floor. But when he's on the floor, he's a very good player. And whether or not they start him at center or power forward, he will excel at both.
Yeah, he is very good. Now we'll go into my 6, which is Karl Anthony Towns. For the Knicks, to me, he's a great offensive player and does do well sometimes defensively, but that is kind of where he struggles. And that is kind of where I think you see the Knicks struggles with him at center. Because yes, he's a great offensive piece, but I think they need more of a defensive center first. But Cat is a great 3-point shooter. He would claim he's the best big man shooter from beyond the arc. But that's just not true. However, Karl Anthony Towns does provide an offensive threat from behind the arc and can help defensively at points.
Yeah, I have Cat pretty higher as well. I think rebounding is a big reason why. My number 6 is Domantas Sabonis. Sabonis has been a very consistent player over his career, but while he's tried to extend past the 3-point line, last year he shot 42% from 3 on 2.2 attempts per game, but only made 0.9 per game. He did average about 14 rebounds per game last year while averaging 19 points. We'll see how him, Levine, and their teams built extremely weirdly. So we'll see how that works over time. He's also an underrated passer as a center. Averaged 6 assists last year and 8.2 assists the year before that. He's a consistent finisher, but he still is not the greatest out at mid-range or 3-point line. But I do think he's also the weakest defensive center on this list, except for one other person that we will get to in a little bit. I'll go into my 5. My 5 is Bam. I know you had Bam, I think, at 8, but Bam is someone that I think is one of the best defensive centers and players in the entire league. He's made now 5 all-defensive teams his last 5 years, except for last year, and he was 10th in Defensive Player of the Year voting last year. So I think he deserves at least consideration for it. He doesn't miss much time. The most games he's played in a season is 82. The least amount of games he's played is 56. Last year he played 78, year before that 71, year before that 75. And he's been an integral part on 2 teams that have made the finals. So I think that his defensive presence, his ability to be a quality scorer, he's averaged around 20 points per game, 18 to 20 over his last like 5 or 6 seasons, and he's also been able to improve his rebounding to around 9.5 to 10 per game, while still being a quality passer. He averaged 4 assists per game last year. So I think that he's also shooting a lot of threes. Last year, he shot 3 threes per game, shooting 35.7%. This year, he gets up a lot. But I think Bam is a very underrated center because of how good defensively he is.
Yeah, he is. His defense is impressive. And that's why I had him on my list. And yeah, I'm interested to see just how well he grows in Miami. My 5 is Kristaps Porzingis. He is someone that kind of was power forward. Then he offered another center option for the Celtics. And to me, that's what I see Atlanta using him as. He is a guy that can shoot from beyond the arc. And you really saw in Boston just what he could do defensively for them. He had shown it a little bit in Washington, but he struggled with that in Dallas. But that roster was still being constructed and may have not fit perfectly around him. But what Kristaps can do when he's on the floor makes him a top 5 center. The problem is that he isn't higher is because of the issues of him staying on the court.
Yeah, I don't have him on my list. I probably should have included him at least in the honorable mentions. That was your 6?
That was my 5.
Okay, who's your 4?
My 4 is Rudy Gobert. This is where I have him. Yes, Rudy Gobert does get a lot of jokes about him, kind of defensively in the playoffs. But to me, he provides such a defensive presence for players attacking the rim. It's when he gets out in space that he's not able to really defend as well. But he is great at blocks. He is a defensive player of the year and has really elevated that Minnesota defense with what he is able to do when guarding the rim.
Okay. My number 4 is Alperen Şengün. Şengün is a great passer, great rebounder, can score a lot. And I do think he's the worst defender of this, but the Rockets are so good around him with defense that he doesn't have to worry about that. This year, he's starting to shoot the 3-ball really well. I know we're not supposed to really consider this year yet, but he was talking in the offseason about making that better. He's a good rebounder, averages 10 rebounds per game last year, averaged around 5 assists. And he's a very quality big man. I think will grow a lot this year. He's only, as we are recording, 23 years old. So I think that he will continue to improve this season. And the Rockets really built their team to have them as their primary or at least secondary scorer.
Yeah, that is someone that I do not have on my list. I think this could be a big year for him. He had a big year last year, but just kind of showing that consistent performance would be huge and kind of putting his name on the map. And of course, the Rockets are going to get more attention with KD. My 3 is Joel Embiid. He is a top center when he is on the court. And even though I don't like how he gets points, he does find ways to get on the board with just kind of how he draws fouls, but he can rebound. He can offer some defensive help, but it depends. And it really is the injuries for Embiid. So I totally understand having him at 8, but I think he's going to get better. This might be one of his final years where he's fully healthy until his body continues to decline. But we'll have to see. But he is my 3rd center.
Okay. My 3rd is Cat. His ability to stretch the floor, rebound, and score is something that you don't get a lot of from most centers in the league. And while he's not the best defender, he's not the worst defender in the world. His problem is not actually defending, in my opinion. It's fouling. He cannot defend without fouling. And his foul trouble got them into trouble over the playoffs and also got him into a lot of foul trouble over the season. I still remember a lot of games where I was wanting him to do well, and he just decided, nope, I'm going to foul out or get really close to fouling out. And that just is his biggest problem, and it has been for his entire career. I'll go into my 2. I think 2 and 1 are undiscussable. 2 and 1. 2 is Victor Wembanyama. 1 is Nikola Jokic. I'd be very shocked if that was not your list as well.
Nope. Victor Wembanyama and then Nikola Jokic. It's hard to argue against that. Even though Wembanyama is such a fantastic player and he's having such a great year, I I don't know if I can ever put someone above Jokic as he continues to play this well. And every year continues to get better for Jokic. And
Yeah, his
I just
ability
don't-
to do everything. Last year he shot 58% from the field, 42% from three on almost 5 attempts per game, while shooting 80% from the line, averaging 29.6, 12.7, and 10.2, and also averaging 1.8 steals and 0.6 blocks. There's no conversation. And then Wemby has the potential to be the greatest player of all time. That's his potential. That is his peak, right? So there's this. I think those are easily the two best centers in the league, and I don't think it's really arguable either way.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I think we can end it there. Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Let us know your thoughts about the centers. We appreciate you listening to Outsiders Opinions.